Hey guys, welcome to my first UFC breakdown video, and today I'll be breaking down the UFC 264 card between Conor McGregor and Dustin Poirier. If you guys just want to see my final bets, I recommend skipping to the end of the video, but I also recommend listening to what I have to say for each fight because you might not agree with me and you might think of something different. My Venmo and Cash App accounts are in the description and tips are appreciated. Alright, so with our first fight of the night, we got Yaozoung versus Alen Ebedovsky. Hu used to fight at heavyweight, and this is his first fight at middleweight. Hu's going to have quite a bit of a height advantage in this fight. There's not too much to say about this fight. I could see, the way I see this fight going about is, I could see Alen Ebedovsky winning with a lucky KO in the first round, because he looks for that heavy one-shot kill, and he's got the power to do so. But I see Hu extending the fight out and potentially getting like a second or third round KO. I don't really see this going to the judges' scorecard. Hu's got a pretty hard, he's got a good chin and he's got a hard head, so I'm not quite sure I want to go with Alen Ebedovsky in this spot. Hu took some time off, and he's pretty young. I could see him making a lot of improvements and getting like a third round KO, but Ebedovsky's definitely live for a first round KO. Ebedovsky's been pretty cold lately. He's lost a couple of fights in a row, one to John Phillips, who's not a very good fighter himself, but Ebedovsky also started 8-0 his career. So Ebedovsky is going to have the experience over Hu, but I think Hu's going to have the physical advantage, and he should get the job done. Alright, up next we got Zhalgas Zhumagulov versus Jerome Rivera. Zhalgas is 13-5, Jerome's 10-5. Zhalgas is 5'4", Jerome's 5'10". Jerome looks to have quite a bit of a height and reach advantage. Both these fighters have started pretty cold. Zhalgas has lost his last 2 fights, and those are his only 2 fights in the UFC. He kind of had high expectations coming in, and he hasn't lived up to them. Same with Jerome Rivera. He won a decision in his Contender Series, and he's lost 3 straight. And whoever wins this fight will keep their contract, and I can see whoever loses to lose their contract. Zhalgas, he's got good timing, good defense. He's got a good left hook, good takedown defense, but I don't see how he should be this big of a favorite. He doesn't have the power to take out Rivera, and Rivera's got such a big height and reach advantage, and he's got submission offense, so like if this takes the mat, I could see Rivera pulling a lucky submission and winning the fight. But I'm gonna go with Zhalgas by decision, but it's just not a spot where I want to put a lot of money on Zhalgas. At minus 300, you got to be pretty confident in someone, and yeah, I don't know. It's not a spot you want to take Zhalgas, but I'll take him by decision. Alright, up next we got Omari Akhmedov versus Brad Tavares. Omari is 21-5-1. Brad is 18-7. Both these guys match up really well number-wise and physically. When you're speaking numbers, you can see 2.99 significant strikes landed per minute. Brad is 3. Absorbed for Omari is 2.77, and then 2.76 for Brad. So these guys are pretty much identical, and they've been fighting for a while. So this should be a really good fight. But I think Tavares has much better cardio, and I think as the fight goes on, Brad could be live for a knockout. But I don't know. Akhmedov, I see he's the better grappler, and he likes to throw big shots, and he's always live for a knockout. I think he's physically stronger, and he's definitely going to have success early in the fight. I don't think either of these guys are going to get knocked out. They both are pretty durable. I just see this being Omari's going to win the first round, Brad's going to win the third round, and whoever wins the second round is going to win the fight. And my pick's Akhmedov. I think he's going to win the first 2 rounds and get the 29-28 decision, maybe a split decision, but yeah, I'm just going to go with Akhmedov by decision. Alright, up next we got Jennifer Maia versus Jessica I. Jennifer Maia's 18-7-1. Jessica is 15-9. Jennifer Maia's got a slight height and reach disadvantage, but Maia's gonna have better jiu-jitsu, better boxing. I think she's gonna be better mentally. I don't know. Jessica, she's won money for me in the past, but lately she's been pretty cold. I don't know. I think it might be a lack of motivation, and she might not be training as hard, but I will say Jessica has she has faster hands than Jennifer Maia. So it should be a close fight on the feet, but Jennifer Maia has very good jiu-jitsu, and if it takes the mat, I think Jennifer should take it there, then Maia will definitely get the decision, but I'm leaning Jennifer here. I think she's going to push the pace, and if it does take the mat, she's going to win that. So I'm going to go with Jennifer Maia by decision. Alright, up next we got Trevin Giles versus Dricus Du Plessis. Trevin Giles is 14-2, Dricus Du Plessis is 15-2. Both these dudes are pretty hot prospects, and they're going to be whoever wins. Actually, I mean, I can't say whoever wins this, but both these dudes are going to have pretty exciting careers. Dricus Du Plessis is 27, Trevin is 28, so they got quite a few years left, and they've done pretty well given the short amount of time that they've been in the UFC. But Du Plessis has a good left hook, and he catches a lot of guys with it. He loves to explode straight in and go with power right at the guy, and he loves throwing leg kicks, and he's very good at it. The only thing about him is, I don't know if he doesn't care, but he doesn't really have very good defense. But he's got very good submission, front chokes, and decent wrestling. Giles, he's pretty good everywhere, but his biggest downfall is he's got very low IQ, and that's where I see this fight going in Du Plessis' favor, because they match up pretty similar. They like most of these fights physically and numbers wise, so I see Trevin Giles kind of losing focus, and I could see Du Plessis going for a second round submission. Yeah, I don't know. This is going to be a very good fight. I can't wait to see it, but I think Du Plessis is going to catch him off guard, and although Trevin he's got a 3-fight win streak, and he's pretty athletic and got a good jab, he just has a really low fight IQ, and that's going to go against him here, and I could see Du Plessis submitting him in the second round. Alright, so up next we got Ryan Hall versus Ilia Topuria. Ryan Hall's 8-1, Ilia is 10-0. Ryan's going to have a little bit of a height advantage and reach advantage, but he's going to have an age disadvantage. He's 36, while Ilia is only 24. So Ilia is a hot up-and-coming prospect, and to be honest, Ryan has quite a bit to lose here. He's pretty old, and if he wants to win the belt one day, he's got to win every fight from now. He's pretty old, while Ilia, he can afford a loss, and it might even help him on his journey to become a champion one day. They both are submission artists. Of Ryan's 8 wins, he's got 5 of them by submission, while Ilia, of his 10 wins, 7 of them are by submission. But Ilia is a sharp boxer. He's pretty physical. He's a tank. He's pretty strong. He's very good everywhere. He's got good striking, grappling, and if he keeps it on the feet, he could win by KO. But the thing is, Ryan Hall is pretty hard to hit, and when opponents try to close the distance on him, he falls to his back and pulls guard, and he tries to go for a leg lock. And a lot of his wins come from that leg lock submission. So he's definitely live. Ryan Hall's definitely live for a submission, but yeah, I don't know. This line is pretty wide, and I'm not too confident in Topuria. I'm gonna go with him by decision because when we see two submission guys go at it, usually neither of them are gonna submit each other. That's gonna cancel out, and I could just see Topuria, winning it and controlling him on top and probably on the feet as well. But yeah, I see Topuria pulling a close decision. It could even be a split decision, but yeah, I'm not too confident in Topuria, but I think he'll get it done. Alright, up next we got Niko Price versus Michel Pereira. I mean, to be honest, both these guys should be in the main card, and I don't think either of them should ever fight in the prelims for the rest of their career because they're both exciting, but they're going to be in the prelims. Niko is 14-4, Michel is 25-11. They both match up pretty well physically. Michel's a massive welterweight. He's very explosive and athletic, and each fight in the UFC he keeps getting better. And I think his coaches have been working on him on his mindset because in his previous fights, he's been known to do backflips and goofy dances before going to the octagon before the fights, and he's been known to lose stamina by doing some of that stuff. So when he's focused, he really is one of the best welterweights in the UFC, and I could see him being one of the champs one day. Niko, on the other hand, he's also a pretty crazy dude. He comes in for blood, like he's ready to kill someone. He's also pretty scary. He can KO anyone from anywhere. He can KO the person from range or from inside the pocket. But Niko's thing is he likes to throw a lot of volume, and when he does that, though, he walks in with his hands down, and he's pretty open to get hit. And I feel like if Michel just lands one of his shots, one of his significant strikes, he's going to put out Niko, and that's how I have it. I have Pereira winning in the second round by knockout, and I think this is going to be a really cool fight. I don't think anyone should miss this. This is going to be one of the fights of the year, honestly. And, Niko is definitely live for a knockout, but I'm going to give it to Michel. Alright, up next we got Carlos the Natural Born Killer versus Max Payne Griffin. Carlos is 37, Max is 35. Carlos is 32-13, while Max is 17-8. Carlos is a little bit taller. Carlos has been in the UFC for a while. He's fought George St. Pierre, and he was the WEC champ. Max has also been in the UFC for a while, but he hasn't fought the level of competition that Carlos has, so Carlos is definitely going to have the slight experience advantage. Carlos isn't as good on the mat, but he's definitely better on the feet, and I'm definitely more confident that he will win in the third round. I think that in this fight, again, the difference between who's going to win this fight is whoever wins the second round is going to win this fight, because this fight's definitely going to go to the distance. Both these dudes are very durable. I don't see either of them getting knocked out or submitted. They both have good submission and both have chins on them, but Griffin, he's not that good of a wrestler. He's above average. He's somewhat physical on the feet, but Condit's better. Yeah, I'm definitely leaning a little bit towards Condit. It's a close fight, but betting wise, the odds are, I think Griffin's a -200 favorite, and I just don't see how he can cover that. I think Carlos Condit, we're given a present by the bookies, him being this much of a dog. I think this is more of a 50-50 fight, and honestly, I'm going to take my shot on Condit, and whoever wins this fight, it's going to be by decision. Alright, up next we got Sugar Sean O'Malley versus Chris Maltino. Sean is 13-1, Chris is 9-4. Sean's going to be taller and have a slight reach advantage. This is Chris's UFC debut, and it's in a pretty big spot. This is going to be one of the highest selling pay-per-view events in UFC history. So, yeah, I'm not quite sure what to expect from Chris. 9-4. He's lost 4 fights, 2 by knockout, 2 by submission. Sean's won 13 fights, mostly by knockout, and 1 by leg injury. So, Sean's one of my favorite fighters, and you know what you're going to expect. You're going to expect a pretty exciting fight. He likes to fight at range, and he has power from everywhere. He can fight in range and at long range. While Chris, he likes to throw reckless punches, and honestly, I don't think he's a UFC caliber fighter. He shouldn't even be in this spot. I think they should have gave it to Merab Dvalishvili, or a top 15 opponent. But yeah, we're gonna see a pretty exciting walk-off finish by Sean. I think Sean's gonna get it done in the first round by a knockout. I think Chris is going to go in there with nothing to lose at first, but then he's going to realize he's out of his league and he's going to get caught with his lights out. And honestly, there's not much to say, but Sean O'Malley by first round KO. Alright, we got Irene Aldana versus Yana Kunitskaya. Irene's 12-6, while Yana's 14-5. Irene's a little bit taller, but they both have the same reach. Yana's pretty good, clean boxing. She's good on the ground. She throws nice jabs, and she has really good kicks from the outside. Irene also has good boxing, and she's long and rangy. But the only thing with Irene is she struggles with kicks from the outside, and that's how I see this fight going in favor of Yana. With women's MMA, most of the fights go to decision, and both these fighters barely get finished, and I think Yana is going to throw more volume and outpace Yana for a decision with her kicks, and if it goes to the mat, I think Yana would win anyways. Yana is going to look to push Irene to the cage and try to throw knees and elbows and all that sorts of stuff, so I'm going to go with Yana by decision. Alright, up next we got Tai Tuivasa versus Greg Hardy. This should be an interesting heavyweight fight, as both these guys are looking to become top contenders. Greg's going to have a physical advantage. He's 6'5", and he's got an 80.5-inch reach. He's a little bit bigger than Tai. Numbers-wise, these guys match up pretty similar, but Greg is definitely going to be live for an early knockout. He's going to be looking for that early first-round knockout, and he's been known to have problems with his stamina later in the fights. But Tai, he's a pretty thick dude. He kind of reminds me of Mark Hunt, and he is pretty good, pretty heavy leg kicks, and that's something that Greg has been known to have problems with. So if Tai explodes in and throws those heavy leg kicks early and eventually finds him later in the fight, I think Tai can find a late round finish. But Greg, he's a big dude, and I think he's live for an early knockout. But honestly, I think this fight's going to go to decision, and I think Hardy will win the first 2 rounds. So I'm going to go Greg Hardy by decision. Probably 29-28. Alright, up next we got Gilbert Durinho Burns versus Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. Burns is 19-4, while Thompson is 16-4-1. Thompson has got the height and reach advantage. Looking at the numbers here, Stephen Thompson definitely going to throw more volume, and he's got really good defense. One of the reason why I'm on Thompson for this fight is right here. His 78% takedown defense. Gilbert Burns is a black belt jiu-jitsu artist, and honestly, he can finish the fight from anywhere. He's a big, strong dude. He can finish anyone from punches or from the ground with his jiu-jitsu, but I don't know how he's going to be able to get Wonderboy down. Wonderboy has only been taken down twice in his UFC career, and in order for Gilbert to win, he's going to need to be able to take Stephen Thompson down. So I just see this fight being Stephen Thompson picking him apart from the outside and just styling on points and spinning kicks and pretty much doing whatever he wants and to an easy decision and getting that title shot that he's always wanted. So I'm going to go with Stephen Thompson by decision. Gilbert Burns could lose his gas, and he could get knocked out by Thompson late in the rounds, but I'm gonna go Stephen Thompson by decision. Alright, we got Dustin the Diamond Poirier versus notorious Conor McGregor. Dustin's 27-6, while Conor's 22-5. In their first fight, Conor won by KO in the first round at featherweight. Conor back then used to throw a lot of spinning kicks, and he caught Dustin with a left hand and slept him. It looked like a pretty easy fight for Conor. I don't know if this is trash talk or what, but in the second fight, Dustin implemented a good game plan himself. He's been more active lately. Conor's been focusing on boxing, and I don't know if him focusing on the Manny Pacquiao fight had a toll on this fight, but Dustin focused on kicking Conor's legs, and Conor couldn't really balance on that front leg, and in the second round, Dustin caught him with a left hand and knocked him out. But in this third fight, it should be interesting because Conor is definitely alive for the knockout in the first couple rounds, and then Dustin, he's got pretty good stamina and jiu-jitsu, where if Conor gasses out, I think Dustin will win the fight, but I think Conor will win the first 2 rounds or by decision. But I don't know. This is a close fight to call. I think it's a 50-50. I think the line's pretty good. I think Conor is going to go back to him old self, and I think he's going to get in Dustin's head a little bit, and I think he's going to get him with a second round KO. Alright, so for the most important part of the video, I'm going to show all my bets. For the first fight, I got 6/10 of a unit on Yaozoung by KO, and then 0.4 units on Allen by KO. The second fight between Zhalgas and Jerome Rivera, I'm going to pass because I think Zhalgas is too big of a favorite. I think it should be a closer fight. The third fight, I got Omari 6.6 units to win at plus 120. I think he should win the first couple of rounds, and Brad will win the third round, but I think Omari should win the decision. Maia is one of my most confident picks on the card, and I have a unit on her to win by decision at plus 115. After the early prelims, the first prelims fight, I got 0.8 units on Plessis to win by submission at plus 900. I think that's excellent value. If that's going to make your night, I think you should put money on that fight. I also have 0.2 units on Giles to win by KO because that's his only path to victory. The next fight, the 6th fight of the card, I got 0.6 units on Ryan Hall to win at plus 200. And then at plus 0.4 units, I got Ilia to win by decision. The 7th fight, I got a unit on Michel Pereira to win by KO. I think those dudes are going to scrap it out, and whoever wins is going to win by KO. So I'm going to put money on Michel Pereira. The 8th fight, I got 4.4 units on Condit to win by decision. I think Condit's stand-up game is excellent, and I don't think Max Griffin is going to be able to hold Carlos Condit down, so I'm going to put Condit to win by decision. Sean O'Malley, the 9th fight, I think I'm going to put a unit on him to win by first round. I think he should walk off with a KO in the first round of this fight. If he doesn't, there's something wrong with him. Yeah, I think KO. Sean O'Malley in the first round by KO. I put 1 unit on him. 10th fight, we got Yana Kunitskaya versus Irina Aldana. I put a unit on Yana at plus 100. The 11th fight, Tai Tuivasa versus Greg Hardy. I'm gonna pass because both those dudes can win in both scenarios. Like, they both can win by KO and they both can win by decision. So I don't think I'm gonna put money on that one. The 12th fight, I'm gonna put a unit on Stephen Thompson to win by decision, but Burns is definitely live for a KO, so I'm going to put 0.2 units on him by KO. And then the 13th fight, the last fight, the main event, I'm going to put money on Conor McGregor. I got 2 units on him to win by KO. If Conor wins, it's going to definitely be by KO. And I don't know, if you've been watching him lately, he looks fucking intense. Like, he looks like he wants to finish Dustin, and if I had to put money on it, I'm going to put money on Conor. So I'm going to put 2 units on Conor at plus 130, but I'm going to hedge it a little bit with 0.4 units on Dustin by submission at plus 550. That's a really good line because if Conor loses, he usually loses by submission, and Dustin's a black belt in jiu-jitsu, and if you're throwing 0.4 units on Dustin, that's like nothing. So I'm going to put 0.4 units to make up for that 2 units, and you should make your money back if Dustin wins. And then my parlay of the week is Jennifer Maia, Stephen Thompson, and Sean O'Malley at 2 units. And I think all 3 of those fighters should win. So let's have a good night, guys.